So, hey, it's Simeon with you. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. We're at Snippy 24 conference outside of Mosca, Colorado, near the sand dunes. And this is Trey Hudson, who gave us a great presentation yesterday about another portal-like area that seems very similar to what a lot of you have heard about. We've heard a lot about Skinwalker Ranch, but there are other places around the world. And this is an area, an undisclosed area, somewhere in the Southwest U.S. And Trey, can you give us sort of a summary of what you talked about? Because there was so much parallels between that and other areas we've heard about.
Yeah, this is one of those areas where what we really started was digging down in the folklore. You know, a lot of times there's layers of authenticity, you know, in just common folklore that's so easy to, discount as, hearsay and, tall tales and all of that. And we were able to, and let me just simply, it's in the southeast.
Oh, excuse me, southeast.
That's
I misinterpreted.
Yeah,
Southeast.
That's fine, southeast.
Scratch that.
Yeah, that's fine, no problem. But, and, we found this location, which is basically a mountainous meadow, there in the southeast, where we have had the same kind of anomalous things. And you and I have talked about things like, tracks that are very akin to crop circles.
Right.
We've had those. We've had
strange markings.
Markings, and dare I say portals, places that our team will enter into that there's no physicality to it, but they'll completely disappear off of our thermals. And we've not been able to recreate it. We've had odd radiation spikes from a baseline of about 0.06 microsieverts per hour that'll spike up to 0.13, 0.22, all the way up to 0.60 in one account. And those spikes have also accompanied incidences of high strangeness, extreme disorientation, hearing of craft, moving craft, a campsite, and things like that. So it's like one of those areas.
Cryptids.
Oh, cryptids, cryptids galore.
We don't have to mention that, just assume to be out there.
Yeah, and so it's just one of those areas, and it's just, it's ripe for research. But the more I dig into it, I find out not only do I not know what the answers are, I don't even know what the friggin' questions are,
Yeah, I think we're...
So, that's kind of what we've been doing, and been doing it since about 2017.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to rock on as long as we can.
You were talking about something, Trey, that I found interesting. Tell me if this is correct, that some of the cryptids or unexplainable creatures out there seem to have a body temperature that is lower than the ambient from your FLIR devices.
Yes.
How do we explain something like that? I mean, I have my own ideas, but I want to hear what you think.
And this is conjecture.
Yeah.
But, you start putting the pieces together, and that's, that's how we come up with hypotheses and theories and et cetera, is that on our thermal, in two cases, two completely different locations, we've recorded what appears to be a hominid shape on thermal, but the body temperature of this thing is cooler than the ambient surroundings.
Right.
Now, where that's interesting is if you go and open up the box of paranormal stuff, ghost stuff, is you find out a lot of ghost stories. Oh, it got cold in here. Yeah. When we saw the entity, it was freezing. So there's something to do about a transdimensional shift and a drop in temperature. Right. So it makes you wonder, are these hominids, entities, beings that we call Sasquatch, for a convenient label, are they actual interdimensional? And as they move in and out of our reality, their temperature is not always necessarily the same as the ambient temperature in the environment. Right,
because there is this concept in physics, Trey, called negative temperatures. Yeah. And you've heard about this, and this is the opposite of the ordinary matter we're used to. As you put more energy into it, it becomes more organized, and there's less molecular motion, which we read as a drop in temperature, even as its energy.
As things move more towns towards 0 Kelvin, and you have less.
Right. Yeah. But you get increasing order as you pump more energy into it, not more entropy.
And it's really interesting you mentioned that because, looking at ways of supercomputing, and we're quickly approaching quantum computing. What is the way to do that? One of the things of the environment that's best for that is super cold environments.
Right.
So what that tells you,
exactly,
if we're looking at quantum computing and possibly, using the nature of spooky action at distance and all of that, at cold temperatures, would that not make sense that a cold temperature might be an indicator of something being transdimensional?
Right. Exactly. And we should point out that these cold fusion experiments, Leonard, often report, hey, Mr. Astro, here's our other participant here. cold fusion LENR experiments often report the room getting colder.
Yes.
Too.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned aports, exactly.
Aports. So this all seems like you've got some patterns going on. It's the beginning of science, condensed matter physics. Notes these temperature changes also.
And I'm an old Army intelligence guy. You know, what we were taught is not to necessarily look for the big picture, but look for indicators.
Excellent.
And then they point towards the big picture as you start building a catalog of indicators for action or phenomena or whatever. So I'm kind of taking that approach.
Yeah, super excellent. Trey, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.